Jewish Community Gardening Collective here at Kayam Farm has been generously supported by the Covenant Foundation of New York because they support innovative Jewish education across the country, and this is a really cutting-edge way of building Jewish community, inspiring Jews of all ages to start gardens at different institutions and really use that as a tool for achieving the goals of those communities.
Helping them to start Jewish educational community gardens on their properties. So school gardens, the synagogue gardens, garden at a senior center, lower school, and early childhood, JCC. Each institution had a garden party, and together we planted the gardens.
Haaretz brings bread out of the earth.
At each of the garden parties, there was some lesson. At one of them, the garden captains taught about the Talmudic measurements, so a tefach or a amma or agudal, and that's how we planted the garden was, plant this radish seed one agudal away from the next. So, a fun way to incorporate Jewish learning into the gardening. Owings Mills JCC has a very nice relationship with Kayam, and something that really worked well this year was a teacher training series that we ran for the full staff of teachers. And so getting that direct contact with the teachers really allowed the teachers, I think, to feel more comfortable in the garden space.
Made zucchini bread for snack, and the kids helped make this grate the zucchini and make the batter and everything, and then they had it for snack time, and the one teacher told me that every single child in her classroom scarfed it down, and she says she's never had that happen before, where all the kids just ate the snack.
I've always felt that Netivot and Kayam would be a very good match, and so last year, when the Community Garden Initiative emerged, we were like, let's do it, no doubt.
It's a synagogue where really everyone has to step up and take some sort of role in the garden. With 60 people in a synagogue and 3 4x8 plots, it requires individual people and families to step up. It's really a special place and a special garden.
We call it our Kiddush garden, and we really do eat every week from the Kiddush garden. We began by digging and tilling and planting, and now a Taranut, a rotation schedule of people who harvest on Thursday nights. We have people who water and people who are composting now, and it's also been a great pathway to our shul from people who may or may not be into davening or traditional Torah learning, who have been supporters of Netivot, but they live far away. They've been able to get involved in the garden, which has been another real passageway to accessibility to the shul and to enrich Jewish life.
I think it's important for students to understand the amount of work that goes into it. One of our students couldn't believe arugula tastes this good out of the garden. He said the stuff he gets in the plastic containers just doesn't have that amount of flavor. So I think it's good food, a better understanding, and it's really an education process.
Our third graders went to the farm last spring, learned about seeds and the greenhouse effect, and came back and helped us start our community garden.
Beth Tefillah, the kindergarten through 4th grade all come out to Kayam for a field trip during the year, and then go back to their school, and the garden becomes a direct application of what they've learned here.
We have some long-range plans, and we're going to add to what we have started. We were given 2 gardening boxes, and we used those boxes as the beginning of our community gardening project. So the 3rd graders planted those boxes, and they planted flowers in the area around those boxes.
It's not just going out to some beautiful isolated spot, out in the country that is holy or pristine or nature. This is all nature. Weinberg Village, which is an independent living senior center, and there's about 600, 700 residents who live there, and leading up to this year, a number of them had voiced an interest to the activities director at Weinberg Village of the desire to garden on property. We were able to partner up with them and build what are called salad tables. So we built 4 tables, and we now have 10 seniors who are growing tomatoes and cucumbers and summer squash and peppers and herbs, and they take care of their plants better than any other institution I've seen.
Pickling cucumbers and a lot of cherry tomatoes.
The experience has been really phenomenal.
Like yesterday when I came down to order the radishes, you know, I'm holding this thing. I almost felt like talking to him. Here I am. Here's your morning drink.
I would like to see every faith community and religious school in this city and county that has any speck of land be growing food in some way. What they do with that totally depends on them. Some sort of garden that would connect people to the natural world and deepen their spiritual connection to God, because I think that inevitably happens once you have a garden.
These 6 institutions aren't doing this work in isolation. They're doing it with the help and support of the other institutions that are going through the same process in Baltimore.
And it's part of a larger campaign in Jewish Baltimore called the Going Green campaign, working with Aliza Ashri and Rabbi Nina Cardin, really trying to use the gardens as a leveraging tool to create much greater change in the Baltimore Jewish community, and really a broad campaign to get as much environmental progress happening in our community as we can.
The children love it, the parents are really excited about it, and the teachers are all on board about it. The congregation is benefiting from it, and so it's been a wonderful project that we will be continuing, and we'll be able to begin to implement a garden curriculum the following year.
The dividing it up into the sections and the squares, and they always have incredibly creative ways of learning these principles that are grounded in Torah. So it's not just Tikkun Olam, it's really taking elements of Torah that many rabbis, sometimes including myself, have said, they don't really apply anymore. We don't really do it so much anymore. But it's happening, and here in Baltimore we've become a center, thanks to Kayam, where you could see Orla come to life. You can see Peah come to life in a way that is incredibly unique.
This one old shirt is all that I have, and $1 is all that I crave. Ain't brought nothing with me into this old world, ain't gonna take nothing to